Okay, welcome back. Hit record. Um, just leaving one of my part-time jobs. Signed some papers. They actually gave me some seed. Well, they had a seed thing happening for funding. You know, like you sell kids sell chocolates or whatever. These guys are selling seeds, and we're in a new place, and we always have a garden off. Yeah, we always have a garden, so I got a vegetable pack. Actually, I'm gonna pull over and look at this. Actually, should have did that when I was parked. But let's see. I'm just gonna do this. Open the package of goods. I got an herb garden thing and a vegetable garden thing. 10 seed packets inside. Garden vegetable plot. What does this one have? Tender green bean, pencil rod yellow bean, Detroit dark red beet, Nantes carrot, cherry bell radish, straight 8 cucumber. Let's turn this down. Peaches and cream corn, dark green zucchini, tomatoes and peas. Okay. Entire vegetable garden in one package. That'll be a good start. And it was only like 290, 199 a package. Is how the pricing worked out, which was really good. So go to these seed places and it's like $6. On the island, it was way crazier. Some of them were like 13 bucks, especially for the what do you call it, the heritage seeds. So here we go. Chef's Herb Garden Plot. Sage, thyme, chive, cilantro, coriander, dill, sweet basil, Genovese basil, curled parsley, yeah, and then summer savory. 9 seed packets inside. And this one was $18. I think this one was 20. The vegetable one was $20 for 10 seed packets. So yeah, like $2 a thing. That's a really good deal. And it was so the thing that they were doing, maybe your kids have done it, but it's make it so ink. We'll see how the seeds turn out if it works. But yeah, supported a good cause. Which is hilarious, you know, when I think about it now, because my jobs that I'm, all 3 jobs that I work for, 3 jobs, 5 employers. So these guys are kind of well, it's a community service thing. They're funded by the government. It's the same thing with my other place where I do maintenance on buildings. They're funded by the government. It's for old people, senior living. The other bus place is the same thing. It's the community service thing. But I also work for the municipality there and also the 2 counties. Yeah, Lac St. Anne County would. Anyway, it's another northern county there. Then it's also the municipality. These guys is the county, and the other one's the foundation. But they're all like nonprofits, and I've never done that before in my life. Never worked for nonprofits, sort of thing. And I got to tell you, best places I've ever worked. People are great. They're happy. They're not trying to take you down. I I I, I don't know what to say about it other than good things. Absolutely fabulous. No, you don't get paid much, but at a time when I got these jobs, at a time when people had not only stopped hiring, all kinds of fake job postings. I was applying, I must have hundreds, literally hundreds. And I know that story is pretty common. So that was in 2024, towards in the summer into the fall. And I mean, it was so disheartening, of course. I'd never faced that before. And anytime, like I've done this before where I've restarted my life, gone into a new place and started absolutely fresh, knowing nobody. And I've never had a harder time finding, well, I shouldn't say that because the work came pretty easy. For a while there, it was really tough, but more despairing than normal because I was applying more than I ever had at any time in my life for a job. And I was getting nothing back. I mean, if I'm doing that many in the past, if I was doing that many, I would have had like multiple job offers by doing the same thing. And this time around, it was like, oh my God, what's going on with the world? Like, this is crazy. People weren't calling back, things like that. It was a completely different way of, I don't know, getting work, which is new normal, I guess. Luckily, I think if I was in a big city, it would have been worse. It would have been way worse. I probably could have put out double of resumes and dropping off resumes and still not heard anything. But luckily, it's a small community out here, and I was persistent, and I landed all of this work. You know, at a time when people weren't hiring, people were starting to lay off people. Actually, so when I got my main part-time job, now that's giving me benefits, part-time job, it was people, yeah, they were reporting all kinds of layoffs. And all I could see on social media, especially even here in Canada, not just the US, but people saying how tough of a market it is, how many thousands of resumes people have been putting out. And I totally believe it. You know, I easily put out hundreds, and one callback, two callbacks. I got the job in that town. These guys, I just walked across the street, handed off a resume from somebody who knew that they were looking for somebody to drive. And the other one, I just saw an ad. They weren't looking for drivers. They were kind of looking for drivers in the ad, but one of those community pamphlet things. Out here, it's farmland for sale, and posting about the Legion and what happened at the Agricom on the weekend. How much horses are selling for, how much bulls are selling for, that kind of thing. But then there was this thing, they were looking for drivers, and I quickly did that. So after sending out resumes on Indeed, I got two callbacks out of those things. One was for a drone operator. That was kind of a desperate job. I would have had to travel all over the country, not knowing what my hours were, how they're. I have to pay everything out of pocket, and they would reimburse me, sort of thing. And I was broke. Just moved from the island. We spent everything on credit cards to get out of there, and I'm like, do I have enough to go drive in the middle of nowhere to do a drone of a well site and put like $1,000 on a credit card? My credit card didn't even have that much of a limit. And then hopefully this company that I know nothing about, but just showed up on Indeed, is going to pay me back in enough time for the next job I go out on after maxing out my credit card. The whole thing seemed not doable, right? I wasn't in a position for it. The next one was a bus service, but it was way further away. Way further away. And I'm like, I'd have to drive in there. They're not paying very much. and it was like a school bus run thing, and they would train you and all of that, and all of that was kind of good. But I was just like, I really don't want to do that if I don't have to. That's last resort. Luckily, I got hired full time at a job, didn't pay benefits or anything, and then I got hired driving bus for that other place. Then I quickly saw an ad for the place that I'm working at now that's giving me the benefits. They were looking for somebody, and I had fully qualified, well, overqualified for it, and then I got that and replaced that with my other full time job. But that all happened fairly quickly, and I was counting my blessings because it had by that time it had reached regular news where nobody could find work in the fall of last year, and I, kind of slipped in under that radar, I guess, which is good. Which is good. I'm very thankful for that. I think I got to go to the police station. I got to do a check for. So when I do my driving, I had this before. I was driving a handy bus in Victoria, and I had to go for my vulnerability sector record check. And this time, they just said, in case there's kids, I got to do one for kids. Intervention record checks. That's what it is. So that's for kids. In case the kids have to ride the bus or whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Security clearances, federal government, Department of National Defense, all of this is clear. No criminal records. But I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so I gotta find an RCMP station. She said to scan it and all that by phone and all of that, and I'm like, I kind of don't like doing that. I know that's how things are done today, but that's way more hassle. I'd much rather somebody else do the work. I don't want to. You're not paying me that much. I don't want to do that work. There's somebody out there who's getting paid to do this. Let them do it. That's their job. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, and that's the state of the economy. So I'm making these videos fairly short. I got to get some watch hour time on my channel in order to post the longer ones that I have. Thanks for tuning in. This is life at 53 in a nutshell in North America. Where is that cop shop? Been to it before. It's down. No, it's up there and down. Yeah, behind Bartle and Gibson. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Leave something in the comments if something resonated with you. You know, if we're trying to find a job, how possible it was, and if we actually did find one, and yeah, what it's like to be old and looking for work. 'Cause you're one of the rare ones if you're still working at a job and it's been 20 years. Like rare. And you should be very grateful of it, and you should not look down on other people because here it is. It's got to be in here. Go to the RCMP station. Yeah, because somebody else in the comments will read it and say, hey, I identify with that. That's going to help me out. That's going to validate who I am. I'm not alone in this struggle. That kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? All right. See you on the next one.